If you have back, hip, knee, or neck pain, you've probably been looking for that magic solution for quite some time. That exercise, that routine, that pill, maybe that doctor, that professional who can help you get rid of the pain. But there's something that almost no one explains to you. And that's why I want you to start this year with an open mind and to give a different depth to pain. Pain doesn't depend only on what you do during 30, 60 minutes of exercise a day or several times a week, but on how you live the rest of the time. The remaining 23 hours. That's why today I want to move away a bit from that classic view of exercise and give you some advice on very simple daily habits that don't replace exercise but will help you improve your pain and have a better life. And most of them focus on rest because exercise and rest are like a balance. We often focus too much on exercise and overlook rest. When it is the cornerstone of your recovery, we have to enhance it just like we enhance exercise because you will improve the reactivity of your nervous system, the inflammation in your body, and your recovery capacity. And when all of this improves, the pain also starts to get better. So today I'm bringing you 7 habits that will help you reduce pain during the year 2026. First, finish eating at least 4 hours before bed. While this may not seem related to pain, it actually is. When you have dinner late, your body prioritizes digestion, not repair. Sleep is lighter, you wake up more times during the night, and there's more underlying inflammation in your body. That's why many say I sleep but don't rest. It's no coincidence. Really, sleeping well isn't just about lying in bed for 10 hours. It's about sleeping deeply. It's about lowering your heart rate. And what if your stomach is full from a heavy meal you had a couple of hours before going to bed? Your heart will have to beat very fast for that digestion to finish, and therefore the night won't be effective. Your heart won't get enough rest. And all the recovery processes happening in your body, which do exist every day whether you exercise or not, will be hindered. So the main thing right now is to change your dinner schedule a bit. Have it earlier, make it a little lighter, and give your body time to process all the food you've put into it. This will clearly improve your sleep quality and therefore disconnecting from screens before going to bed. It's something that seems very, very simple, but it's really hard for everyone, including me. You have to allow your nervous system to shut down, activate your parasympathetic system, which is the one responsible for calming you down, relaxing your body, lowering your heart rate, and preparing you for rest. If you're on your phone in bed, if you're watching videos, TikTok, Instagram, if you're watching the news on television or replying to WhatsApp messages on your phone, your brain is still in alert mode. The radiation emitted by your screen in the form of blue light will prevent your brain from producing the melatonin needed to enter the precursor phase of sleep. Your nervous system will be on alert, your muscle tension will increase, you'll amplify pain signals, and your body will take much longer to fall asleep and lower your heart rate without getting effective rest. It's not that the screen itself harms you, but rather that it doesn't let your body enter rest mode. For example, I use these glasses when I have to work at night. They simply have a blue light filter that will allow your body to gradually enter that rest phase, relax, and counteract the negative effect of blue screens. So, what can you do? Turn off screens at least 30 minutes before going to bed. Lower the intensity of the lights. Some people use red lights instead of the typical blue bulbs. You can also choose a warmer or yellowish tone, and above all, try to repeat the same routine every day. The nervous system likes what it already knows, what is repeated because it can anticipate it. And it's more likely that, as the weeks go by, it will adapt better and you'll rest more effectively. So forget about lying in bed looking at your phone because it's one of the worst things you can do. For your rest and therefore for your recovery, and it will perpetuate the pain you're suffering in the same way, no matter where you have it. The third habit, which is also closely related to what we just discussed, is to establish a disconnecting routine. You can pick up a book, start reading, or do some stretching. Personally, I recommend doing some deep breathing, focusing on the movement of the diaphragm, closing your eyes and becoming aware of your own body. This is a signal you're sending to your nervous system, which allows you to lower your heart rate, reduce mental activity, and calm your body. Reading is a good habit that we've been losing over the decades, but I believe it has incredible power to relax and signal to your body that it's time to go to bed. Isn't it really just a waste of time? If you start applying them next week, I assure you that in just a few days you'll notice how your rest improves in quality, how you manage to lower your heart rate during sleep, and how your body recovers better. Let's go to the next one, number 4, which is really closely related to number 3, and it's basically go to bed and wake up at the same time. I know that on weekends many of you like to go to bed later, wake up later, shift that schedule, and that's okay. That's how we do it, obviously, from time to time, but the body's nervous system works much better when there are routines, predictability, and order. Therefore, if you consistently go to bed at the same time, it's much easier for you to fall asleep better. For example, I usually go to bed around 11 or 12 at night, and there was one day when I had to go to bed at 8 post-meridium. Obviously, such a big change made it hard for me to fall asleep effectively. And even though I went to bed at 8, it was really hard for me, and I didn't manage to fall asleep until around 10 or 10:30. So if you always go to bed at a certain time, stick to it, and if you're not going to bed at the same time, think about when you can start doing that. And stay consistent, because it will be easier to fall asleep and it will be easier to have effective sleep. And therefore, again, your heart and your body will recover better and the pain will decrease in the medium and long term. Let's go with the next 5 exercises, 10, even if it's just 20 minutes, I've put it here. But honestly, for me, it's number 1. It is recommended to do 150 minutes of exercise per week at moderate to vigorous intensity. Vigorous. That's the kind of exercise that keeps you from talking because it's so demanding. You don't need to set very high limits for yourself right now, especially if you don't exercise at all. The important thing is to start. And even if you do light exercises like the ones you find on my channel, that's more than enough. Doing something is always better than doing nothing, and that's what matters most to me. Among these tips, give as much importance to rest as to exercise. It's not about intense workouts, but simply getting active with exercise. It will have a local effect on your nervous system, it will produce endorphins that will make you feel better, and secondly, it will improve your cardiovascular health. It will create a big difference between the maximum heart rate reached during exercise and the minimum heart rate reached during sleep. And the greater that difference is, the better it is for your heart health, for your recovery, and obviously for improving pain in the medium and long term. A body in pain doesn't need eternal rest, it needs progressive adaptation to effort, to load, and that adaptation is built on 3 pillars. Any exercise you want to do, whether it's for your knee, hip, back, neck, or anywhere else, has to be supported by 3 pillars. I've been saying this for a long time, especially with events like Hip Week and Back Week, which you're probably familiar with. The first pillar is strength. Muscle strength is extremely important. Muscle is the organ of longevity. The more muscle you have when you reach old age, better health leads to a higher quality of life and lets you do more. Without pain appearing, strength helps protect joints, reduces perceived load, and gives confidence in movement. A strong body feels more secure. I'm not saying push yourself to the limit, but improve gradually in a way that suits you to find your therapeutic dose. I'll mention that term at the end of the video. In addition, there are hundreds of studies that have shown that the greater your muscle density, for example in the lumbar area, the less likely you are to suffer from lower back pain. The greater the muscle density in your glutes, the less likely you are to suffer from hip pain. The greater the muscle density in your neck, the less likely you are to suffer from neck pain. Second pillar, mobility, because strength is useless if we can't move, right? Mobility helps you reduce stiffness, improve movement quality, and allows your body to function better without compensations. Mobility isn't just stretching, it's moving with control. It might be a little difficult for you to grasp this idea, but don't worry, because we'll look at examples that you can find on my channel without any problem. And the third pillar is stability, the most frequently forgotten one. Stability will basically allow you not to lose your balance, not to fall. Controlling your body in all planes and situations. it will improve control, it will reduce the possibility of falling, and therefore it will also increase confidence. And when you do things like going up or down stairs without fear, or picking up your child or grandchild from the floor without worrying about your back, I'm going to get stuck. All of that improves your alarm systems and makes the pain appear less frequently. You already know my channel has hundreds of videos, about 1,500 with probably 1,000 long ones. About really good exercise, no fluff, straight to the point. Since you don't need to do everything perfectly, you don't need to do 1,000 exercises a day. I like to choose a few exercises, do them really well, and notice how they work within your body. Most importantly, do it regularly, confidently, and gradually progress. Once you find the exercises that suit you, you'll see hundreds of videos on my channel. I'm going to leave a card up here to my website where I have them organized by body area so you can find what suits you best. There's a lot of material, and also, as you already know, I have certain 3-week exercise programs, 21 days of steel back, steel knee, steel hip, steel neck. They're also more structured, with a clear progression and more guided sessions that will allow you to go from the simplest to the most advanced. Little by little, step by step, either option is good. I'll also leave you the link to my programs here in case you're interested. Habit number 6. Eat real food. Avoid junk food. And this isn't a matter of looks, it's a matter of inflammation. The more packaged a product is, the more processed it will be, and therefore it will have an impact on your body. It will lead to worse recovery, more fatigue, and therefore greater sensitivity to pain. Again, you don't have to do it perfectly. Start by eliminating small things you consume, maybe frequently. For example, alcohol is one of the worst, especially in the afternoon or at night, since it can have a huge impact on your recovery, both physically and on your heart. Snacking between meals is also closely related to inflammatory states and can also promote the appearance of pain and prevent proper recovery. I'm not asking you to eat 100% healthy, but to start with small, consistent changes. I know you've wanted to change this for a while. Start small, enjoy it, and jot it down in a notebook. How do you feel about making all these changes? These are usually very good strategies to feel motivated and stay consistent, which is, after all, the most important thing. Just like with exercise, are small changes really worth more than extreme one-week diets? And finally, the last habit is to take care of your relationships and your environment. This one might surprise you a bit, but many studies have shown that the relationships you have and their quality with your family, with your friends, are the source of happiness. The better those relationships are, the more a state of joy will be fostered within your body. And you might think, I don't care about joy, I just want to know what happens with my pain. Well, there is a very important relationship between your mood and pain. On days when you feel more depressed and sad, you notice more pain. When you argue with your partner, boss, or coworker, more pain arises. This isn't a coincidence. Your mood, psychology, and overall mindset, not just about your pain, but life in general, will change dramatically. How does your brain interpret all those pain symptoms, all those alarm signals your body generates? So, everything related to relationships, everything related to stress, can contribute to the onset of persistent pain. That pain intensifies with stress, isolation, and a constant sense of threat. And a nervous system that is safe, calm, happy, with a peaceful mindset, I assure you it can make a huge difference to your pain in the medium and long term. It might be a bit uncomfortable, but it's enough to make small changes. Reconnect with someone you used to get along with very well. Try to open up. Go deeper with people you already talk to, with whom you already meet, to create deeper and more authentic connections. It can help your pain even if it seems unbelievable. And it's not just me saying this. There are many studies that support that psychology, stress, and mindset are 100% important when it comes to completely leaving pain behind. And well, before I finish, I want to show you a few things. This is a pain scale because when we talk about exercise, it's always hard to know which exercise to do, how to do it, what happens if pain appears. Well, I like to use this pain scale, which goes from 0 to 10, where 0 is the absolute absence of pain, and 10 is the worst pain you've ever experienced in your life. What happens? When exercising, everyone feels different sensations, which depend on who you are, not your condition. We each have unique backgrounds and exercise experiences. In short, no two people are the same. It's not about two people having a herniated disc, it's that those two people are completely different. A very clear example. Imagine a 40-year-old person with a herniated disc and an 80-year-old person will both be able to do the same type of exercises. Obviously not, so when you start exercising, I want you to keep this in mind. The pain scale. 0 is no pain. 10 is the worst pain you've ever experienced in your life. As long as we're in a range from 0 to 4, it's a safe range. That means you do the exercise, you feel a bit of discomfort, maybe some discomfort appears the next day, but that's okay. If it's only mild, we shouldn't worry at all. We must accept pain as a result of exercise, especially with new exercises. This often happens to me with people new to exercise. The next day I was sore and had to stop. How much pain? If it was mild, it's nothing. That's completely normal. Now, if the pain is strong, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then those exercises have been too demanding, and we should lower their intensity with simpler variations or by doing fewer repetitions or fewer sets. This is called the concept of the therapeutic dose, which I'll show you down here, and it's basically about finding the exact point where your body improves by doing those exercises. Simple exercises don't provide enough stress, but your body still gets stronger, more mobile, and more stable. And there are no results when we do very intense exercises or a lot of repetitions throughout the day. In the end, the exercise is excessive, too much stress is produced, and a lot of pain appears. The goal is to find ourselves at a point in between where there is some discomfort, but we are generating a stimulus that allows the body to evolve. We are beings who have evolved for thousands of years, and that is basically what characterizes us. That exercise has to have the necessary difficulty to help you evolve little by little and improve those 3 pillars I already mentioned: strength, mobility, and stability. The secret is yours to find, not mine to reveal. Each person needs to push themselves with exercise and gradually find their therapeutic dose, since it's all about doing exercises. The sun. If you get too much sun during your first days at the beach, what's going to happen? You'll burn your skin, right? It stings, itches, and disrupts sleep. Exercise is similar if you get some sun. On the first day you go home, the next day you go out in the sun again, and so on for several weeks. After 3 or 4 weeks, you'll have a nice tan, right? Your skin will have adapted. However, if you do the opposite, you'll end up with sunburns from the very first day. Hope you enjoyed this. Open-minded about what I've told you and begin to step back. Consider the structure: the knee, back, herniated disc, torn meniscus. Your pain depends on many factors and not just on what some tests say or the condition of your knee. That's all. I hope you reach your goals in 2026. If you come to my channel, you'll always find top quality material, and who knows, maybe I'll see you in one of my shows working together. Best regards, I hope to see you again very soon in one of my other videos.